antibrid workshop. It's based off of the framework of tutting, which we started by learning just the relationship between our shoulders in this largest rectangle, our elbows make smaller rectangles, and then our wrists. The reason why we start with this is because it outlines the 9 square grid that we're on. You can see that this would be the center column of the grid. These out to the side are the outside columns. So the grid we're using is based off of this framework, where one square happens on this length, one on this length, one on this length. This class talked about relationships between pivoting wrists and elbows at the same time. We played with using this to access different hemispheres of our body, between lower hemisphere, upper hemisphere, one side to the other side. We made it more difficult by then adding a wrist. Played with the idea of pivoting this wrist at the same time as another wrist. And essentially doing the same pattern as we would do here with the wrist. Look like this. It works. Next, we talked about using pivot points to access, so we can reach the same points we'd reach by cutting through here, by cutting on the wall plane. So the only difference there is if I stay in here, you can see I'm still making an arc and using a circle to get there, but from this perspective, okay. The next part of that is anti-spinning. So my arm is going to move one direction and the staff is going to move the opposite direction, which creates the illusion of an anti-spin. If I create a relationship between this staff and this arm and have them locked together, I can use the same anti-spin to create an anti-brid by isolating one staff. Help me out, guys. What else we talk about?
And on the drills with
Different drills.
Yeah, the collapsing the large squares.
Oh, okay. So that framework was all. This framework was all on this 9 square grid, which is what we used for the tutting. And then we went to a greater review of just double staff theory, involving what I call as the meridian grid, based off of just this cross. Trying to access all 4 points on the grid as a drill between doing or isolations of the entire shape. The idea of accessing the largest boxes. The different ways we can get to those boxes. So, for example, a slide and a rotation. exploring what happens when we combine, for example, an isolation in the slide. Isolation, slide, isolation, slide, isolation, slide, isolation, slide. Also, it can happen here, so we can't forget about this grid. We played with then collapsing shapes to go diagonally between the quadrants. It would be isolation, collapse, isolation, collapse. We could collapse this way too. We didn't talk about this, but all of these things can happen here. So for example, this would be split plane to at same move as here, which would be isolation, anti-spin, or for example, anti-spin, isolation, anti-spin, isolation. We could do that split between the planes. So anti-spin, isolation, anti-spin, isolation. Great. And then the idea of magnifying our boxes, but stopping at the half points, and realizing that those half points that are created are the same points that we target when we're on the 9 square grid. Sliding.
Awesome.